The Amazon River, a place where the surface of the water may look calm, but beneath it hides thousands of creatures humanity has never known. Here, beauty and death are only one breath apart. A land where every movement could be a signal from a predator, and with just a tiny mistake, you become the next meal. Beneath the colossal Amazon, there is no room for error. There are creatures longer than a bus, and others small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. But they all share one thing. They are unimaginably dangerous. From giant snakes that crush crocodiles, electric eels that can fire a killing bolt, to tiny animals carrying toxins stronger than man-made poisons. All of them coexist in a world where nature is the absolute ruler. Take a deep breath, because the journey ahead will take you to a place where life and death fuse into one, where the Amazon is not just a river, but a doorway into a primeval world full of things humans are not ready to face. If the Amazon rainforest is called the green lung of the earth, then the Amazon River is the pounding heart of this planet. A gigantic living body made of water, winding through 9 South American countries, weaving through endless forests, nourishing, destroying, and then reviving everything it touches. That river begins from tiny drops of water melted from the glaciers of the Andes, at an elevation of more than 5,000 meters above sea level. Those drops become small streams. The streams join waterfalls, the waterfalls pour into rivers, and in the end, everything merges into a gigantic artery flowing across the South American continent. From Peru, the Amazon cuts across Colombia, Ecuador, Bolivia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, France, the French Guiana territory, and Brazil, where it widens into a gigantic river mouth that empties into the Atlantic Ocean. Every second, more than 200,000 cubic meters of water, equal to thousands of Olympic swimming pools, gush non-stop into the sea. In the rainy season, that number even doubles, making the Amazon swell to tens of kilometers across, swallowing entire forests on both banks, turning them into a vast inland sea. And even though it is just one river, the Amazon accounts for 20% of all fresh water flowing on the surface of the earth. A figure that surpasses all other rivers combined. And yet even its true length is a mystery that scientists still have not agreed on. Some say the Amazon is 6,400 kilometers long, second only to the Nile. But research teams from Peru and Brazil insist that if you count from the farthest headwater in the Andes, this river is actually more than 7,000 kilometers long, which would make the Amazon the longest river on the planet. That means if you start from the very source and follow the current all the way to the river mouth, you would have to cross nearly half of South America. A journey that could take more than 2 months by boat just to finish one river. For thousands of years, the Amazon has borne many names. It used to be called Rio Marañón, then Solimões, before the name Amazonas was given by the Spanish after Francisco de Orellana's expedition in the 16th century. Legend says that when he encountered fierce native women warriors along the river, he was reminded of the female warriors in Greek mythology and named the river after them, Amazon. But to the indigenous people, the river does not have just one name. They call it by hundreds of different names because to them, every branch, every bend has its own spirit. In some places, people believe every part of the river is a deity, a god of life, of death, or of dreams. The Amazon is not just a flow of water. It is a colossal water labyrinth interlaced like the bloodstream of the earth. More than 1,100 tributaries spread in every direction, 17 of which are over 1,000 kilometers long. These tributaries run through forests, through mountains, through lands humans have never set foot on, connecting millions of organisms into a single ecosystem, both vibrant and deadly. In the rainy season, the water rises so high it turns the forest into an ocean. Trees grow in water, fish swim among the branches, snakes and birds move along the treetops. This is a land where the boundary between river and forest almost disappears, where water and earth merge into one, creating a scene that is both magnificent and terrifying. And what makes explorers shiver the most is its depth. In some stretches, the Amazon River is more than 100 meters deep, enough to swallow an entire 30-story building. The water here is muddy and thick with sediment, making visibility beneath the surface only a few centimeters. No one knows what lies under that dark layer of silt, only that it is a place sunlight never reaches and where ancient creatures may still be hiding. Hundreds of disappearances, stories of gigantic shadows underwater, or mysterious splashes in the night. All of it only makes the Amazon more mystical. Nowhere else on this planet holds as much life as the Amazon. People call this place the gene pool of the world, a colossal engine of evolution that never stops working. In the thick, humid air and the water heavy with silt, every organism is a test of nature, a random outcome between chance and selection. In every inch of soil, every drop of water in this forest realm, there are more than 1/3 of all species on Earth. This is home to 2,200 species of fish, 1,300 species of birds, 400 species of reptiles, more than 400 species of mammals, and tens of thousands of insect species humans have not even named yet. Ants alone here outnumber all bird species in Europe combined, and in the dim forests, hundreds of butterfly species share the same air, each with its own color, its own survival message. On the ground, jaguars, ocelots, tapirs, and howler monkeys fight for territory in the chaotic symphony of the jungle. Underwater, black caimans, stingrays, piranhas, and electric eels coexist in absolute tension, a world with no room for mistakes. Even the air is home to millions of microscopic beings, from molds to bacteria, all together sustaining the breathing rhythm of this colossal biological machine. And the wondrous thing is, the Amazon still has not stopped revealing its secrets. Every year, scientists discover 50 to 100 new species. Glass frogs whose beating hearts can be seen, fish that swim using electric fields, or beetles with shells that reflect light like molten metal. There are even creatures seen only once and then never again. Like nature whispering that we have only touched the surface of this world. In the Amazon, every leaf could be hiding a creature without a name. A small puddle can contain an entire miniature ecosystem, where algae, larvae, and microorganisms intersect in a perfect food chain. A broken branch is also home to parasitic fungi, beetles, ants, spiders, and the eggs of insects that live only a few days. Seen from above, the Amazon rainforest looks like an endless green carpet. But beneath that leaf canopy is a miniature universe, where life and death happen every second. Beauty and brutality are intertwined. A butterfly that spreads its wings in the morning can become a spider's lunch by afternoon. Every living thing exists only to keep the common heartbeat of the forest. An ancient rhythm that has echoed for tens of millions of years. Because in the Amazon, life is not something to be taken for granted. It is a privilege. And wherever life is the fiercest, there nature also becomes the most ruthless. About 60 million years ago, when the dinosaurs had just disappeared from the Earth's surface, the planet was far from peaceful. A new era began, Paleocene, when global temperatures rose so high that the air became thick, stifling and humid like a gigantic greenhouse. No more ice, no more deserts, only endless wetlands covered by dense forests where the modern Amazon would one day form. At that time, the South American region had not yet fully separated from the African continent. The tectonic plates were still shifting, and the Amazon basin had only just begun to take shape. The water was not yet truly a river. It was a gigantic, deep, swampy system where plants grew over one another, where sunlight could barely pierce a leaf canopy dozens of meters thick. This was the cradle of Titanoboa terrigenensis, the overlord of the ancient swamp, the colossal creature that once ruled where the Amazon would later be. Titanoboa was not just a snake. It was the symbol of evolutionary power after the mass extinction. When the dinosaurs vanished, the small animals that had survived in the shadows began to rise. And in that perfectly hot and humid environment, Titanoboa grew far beyond any biological limit that modern snakes can reach. It was 13 to 15 meters long, weighed more than a ton, its body as big as a subway car, and the middle of its body as thick as an adult man. If Titanoboa wrapped around you, you would not even hear your bones break, because you would be crushed from the inside as its gigantic muscles tightened with a force of more than 180 kilograms per square centimeter. Titanoboa fossils were discovered in 2009 in the Cerrejón coal mines in northern Colombia, a place that was once a flooded tropical forest where mud and coal had buried ancient secrets for millions of years. Paleontologists realized that this area had once been an ancient extension of the Amazon basin, with river networks, plants, and animals almost identical to today's environment, except for one thing: everything was bigger. Titanoboa's favorite meals were giant fish and ancient turtles, creatures with thick shells and bodies as big as a dinner table. But with its size, it could attack anything, from early mammals to giant crocodiles. Scientists have reconstructed that scene. In murky waters heavy with the smell of mud, Titanoboa lay in ambush in silence, its body coiling beneath the surface. When the victim drew near, it shot out like lightning, coiled tightly around the prey, and in just a few seconds, life was squeezed out. But Titanoboa cannot survive in today's world. This reptile needed an environment at least 6 degrees Celsius warmer than now for blood to circulate through its gigantic body. That means the Earth back then was a hotter, more humid, and more gas-laden place. A natural greenhouse where life exploded and competed relentlessly. Scientists call Titanoboa the child of climate, a creature that proves the Earth was once hot enough to allow life to evolve in gigantic and ferocious directions. And if global temperatures keep rising as they are today, could it be that one day Titanoboa's descendants might return? Among rain-drenched leaves, a tiny creature the size of a human finger lies still. Its skin glows like a gemstone, but it is not the beauty of life. It is a deadly warning. That is the poison dart frog. Poison dart frog. A tiny animal, but the most dangerous on the planet. Just one drop of toxin on its skin is enough to kill 10 adults. Indigenous Amazonians once used its venom to coat arrow tips, creating a weapon that made any enemy tremble. The name dart frog is no coincidence. Whenever it is threatened, its skin secretes batrachotoxin, a compound that paralyzes the victim's nervous system and stops the heart within minutes. Strangely, the frog does not create the toxin itself. It absorbs it from the insects it eats, mainly poisonous ants and beetles in the forest. Each different color on the frog's skin, bright yellow, blue, blood red, is its own language of death. When night falls over the Amazon, the river surface is as still as a mirror. But beneath it, a pair of golden eyes is wide open, watching every movement on the bank. The Amazon black caiman, Melanosuchus niger, the predator that has dominated these waters for millions of years. More than 6 meters long and weighing nearly 500 kilograms, it can swallow an entire deer or a grown human in minutes. Unlike ordinary crocodilians, the black caiman hunts only when darkness fully covers the land. Its night vision is extremely sharp. Moonlight reflected in its eyes creates a fiery red glow, which is why people call it the demon under the water. Amazonian people still tell of canoes that vanished without a trace, later found drifting with deep, savage bite marks. Neither a snake nor a normal fish. The Amazon electric eel, Electrophorus electricus, is one of the strangest creatures on the planet. It can discharge up to 860 volts of electricity, 7 times stronger than a household socket. This current not only kills prey, it also sonar scans the environment, allowing the eel to navigate using electromagnetic fields. When hunting, it bends its body to form a biological closed circuit, making fish, frogs, even animals twice its size go limp instantly. Scientists have even recorded a case where an electric eel caused a horse to suffocate to death after just a few seconds of electric shock. It can discharge several times in a row, creating waves of attacks like artificial lightning underwater. In the Amazon world, where light barely pierces the water, the electric eel is the only flash, but also the final blow. No creature frightens people like the piranha, the small fish known as the Amazon's living meat grinder. Each one is only 20 centimeters long, but its triangular teeth are as sharp as razors, able to rip flesh in an instant. When blood appears in the water, they send out a panic signal, and then hundreds rush in a frenzy. In less than 5 minutes, a large animal will be stripped clean, leaving only a bare white skeleton. Piranhas attack in schools, a moving storm of survival instinct. The electrical signals from a victim's body, its heartbeat, the smell of blood. All of it is a deadly invitation. They will even attack one another if food is scarce. People in the Amazon say, when the river turns red, don't ask why, get out immediately. In deep marshlands where black water reflects pale moonlight, something is moving softly. A body as long as a log, slick, slow, almost silent. That is the green anaconda, Eunectes marinus, the largest snake in the world. Up to 9 meters long and weighing more than 250 kilograms, it can crush prey with a pressure 10 times stronger than a human's. The anaconda has no venom. It kills with sheer strength, squeezing until the prey's lungs have no more air, then dragging it to the bottom. Crocodiles, wild pigs, even humans, all have become meals. Many strange disappearances of hunters and indigenous people are still told, with a long streak in the water as if something gigantic had just slithered by. Besides that, the Amazon is also home to the South American coral snake, one of the most powerful neurotoxic snakes in the world. Just one small bite can make the victim stop breathing in 2 minutes. Its venom attacks the nervous system, making the body go numb little by little until the heart stops. In the Amazon, darkness is not just a hiding place. It is a living thing, and snakes are its soul. They are small, fast, and completely silent. Vampire bats, Desmodus rotundus, are the only animals that live entirely on blood. When night comes, they fly low over the ground, using heat sensors to find the spot where blood flows closest to the skin, usually the neck or legs of sleeping animals. With a tooth as sharp as a scalpel, they make a tiny cut, then lick the blood, thanks to an anticoagulant enzyme that keeps the wound from closing. Each bat drinks only about 20 milliliters of blood a night. But the scary part is that they spread rabies and many other pathogens. In remote Amazonian areas, entire villages have lost dozens of people because of tiny bites in the night. If there is anything more terrifying than snakes in the Amazon rainforest, it is the Brazilian wandering spider, Phoneutria fera, the most venomous spider in the world. It does not spin a web, it hunts. By day, it hides under dry leaves or in shoes, helmets, backpacks. By night, it moves quietly, just a few centimeters above the ground, waiting for prey to pass. Its venom contains an extremely potent neurotoxin that causes muscle paralysis, convulsions, respiratory failure, and death within minutes. Brazilians call it Aranha armadeira, meaning warrior spider, because it does not run, it will attack even humans. A single bite can send an adult straight to the emergency room, and that is if they even make it to the hospital in time. In the Amazon, a deadly killer does not have to be big. It only needs 8 legs and a moment. They are tiny, but they bring the pain described as the worst in the animal kingdom. The bullet ant, Parapunera clavata, is only 2.5 centimeters long, but its sting makes the victim suffer for 24 hours. Biologists describe the feeling as being shot with a red-hot bullet. The pain spreads through the whole body, causing spasms, tremors, and sometimes making the victim faint. The Sataramawe people even use them in initiation rituals. Young men have to wear gloves filled with hundreds of bullet ants, enduring unimaginable pain for minutes, and only those who endure are recognized as warriors. Under layers of leaf litter, the giant Amazon centipede, Scolopendra gigantea, slithers like a rolling black shadow. Nearly 40 centimeters long, it can take down birds, lizards, rats, even attack sleeping bats. Its two venom fangs inject a mix of enzymes that dissolve flesh, so it can suck out the liquid like drinking soup. Its bite is not usually fatal, but it is intensely painful, swelling and burning for hours, making the victim scream like mad. It sounds unbelievable, but bull shark, one of the fiercest sharks on the planet, can swim up the Amazon hundreds of kilometers from the Atlantic. Their ability to live in both salt water and fresh water makes them the most dangerous outsider in the rainforest. There have been records of bull sharks appearing near the city of Iquitos, nearly 4,000 kilometers from the sea. They attack fast, unexpectedly, and extremely aggressively. Some say even more vicious than great whites. Locals call them ghosts of the ocean because they come and vanish without a trace, leaving only scraps floating on the river. Every creature here, from the tiny poison frog to the giant snakes, is a perfect evolutionary machine. No species is redundant, no species is weak. Every bite, every squeeze, every electric shock is proof that in this world, life and death are separated by just one breath. The Amazon does not need to create monsters, because this place itself is the biggest, oldest, and smartest monster on the planet. Beneath the Amazon's murky water, everything has its own order. In a place where every creature can kill or be killed, nature does not run on mercy but on absolute balance. Predators keep populations from exploding. Prey sustains the food chain. Even drifting corpses in the river feed thousands of tiny beings. Bacteria, algae, insects, all of them recycling energy for the next cycle. Without piranhas, sick fish and rotting carcasses would make the whole ecosystem decay. Without caimans and anacondas, herbivore numbers would boom, destroying vegetation along the riverbanks. And without killers like bullet ants, venomous spiders, or dart frogs, insects would overrun everything, spread disease, and threaten the entire rainforest. In the Amazon, brutality is necessary. Every death gives life back to something else, and that cycle has gone on non-stop for millions of years. Humans are only tiny spectators, strayed onto a stage where every role has already been cast by nature. Ecologists call the Amazon the self-regulating heart of the earth, because when one species disappears, nature will quickly fill the gap with a new form. That is proof of the terrifying power of evolution. In the harshest places, life always grows the strongest. The Amazon River seems like just a river, but it is in fact an entire world hidden beneath the surface, where past and present coexist, where life and death merge like the heartbeat of the earth. You may have never set foot in the Amazon, but every image, every splash of water, every humid breath reminds us this planet still has far too many things left undiscovered. And maybe right this very moment, beneath that deep mud, some creature is still watching us. If you enjoyed this journey into the wild world, hit like, share, and subscribe so we can keep venturing together into places that have never appeared on the map.